So, hello everyone. I'm back after a bit of a break involving a trip to Germany and a nasty flu that I picked back up on the plane journey home, which totally wiped me out. But I'm finally upright again, and it's good to be back on my channel with a guest that I know you all love because when he does come on, I get messages saying, have him back on and bring him back regularly. So, today I'm joined once again by the brilliant Neil MacDonald, writer, teacher now, and guide of ancient sites across Britain and Europe. And today we're going to be talking about the Mysterious Earth Conference in October and the mystery schools, the Western Mystery School, natural laws of the universe, and why some people who've studied this stuff seem to end up with this uncanny kind of abundance, both sort of inner abundance and outer abundance. So make a brew and get comfy, and let's bring some of the ancient world into our lives today with Neil MacDonald. Hello, Neil, and welcome.
Hi. Yeah, good to see you again. What an introduction.
I thought I'd do you proud.
You did, certainly did. Yeah. I thought I've got to meet this guy.
Yeah, he's all right, actually. He's
I
worth
hope so,
meeting.
yeah.
So give us a brief introduction. I mean, I've introduced you, but you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you've been up to.
Well, for the last sort of 25 years, it's getting up to now, I've been running megalithic tours. And actually, I've done my next tour is the 400th tour. So I'm thinking, this has been a long journey. And all my life I've studied the Western mystery tradition. Hermetic philosophy, really, it's a thing that I've lived by all my life. And that's where I'm getting to the point now where I'm thinking of slowing things down. So I'm going to, the idea is to write about, and I'm going to start doing videos about Hermetic philosophy as well. I've decided to do that to reinvigorate my YouTube channel. But that's basically me. Very straightforward sort of guy, really.
There's nothing basic about it. I think it's quite impressive, really. And where would you like to start today? Would you like us to start talking about the Mysterious Earth Conference, or would you like to go straight into your film, which I had the pleasure of watching early last night
Ah,
as a
well, that's
premiere?
it, Canada Conference, because that's going to be the opening of the conference. You know, over the last few years, we've showed a film. And last year it was Beranger Saunier, wasn't it? Rennes Chateau. So this year it's going to be that film. So I'm going to keep it under wraps until October, and that'll open the conference. It'll be the premiere. Except there's only other one person in the world that's seen it, and that's you.
That's me,
So
and it
maybe we could discuss it.
was really,
Yeah.
really good. It was a wonderful accompaniment to the book, which I've got here. There.
Aha,
That
that's the
was,
one.
yeah, that's the one. So yeah, I would recommend when you watch the film when it goes out to have the book with you because they go together really, really well, and they put some great images in your mind as well, you know, from reading the book.
And the introduction was pretty cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, the introduction was all right, wasn't it? I don't know where did you
Yeah.
find her?
I don't know. She's just got that voice, you know. It just fitted in nicely. So there you go.
Yeah, she did a good job. Yeah.
I think she did. Yeah, yeah. It's better than my croaky voice to start the film off, I thought. For
I don't
anybody
know.
who's
If you'd
wondering
have
what we're
spoke to me
talking
two
about.
days ago, I would have been croaky.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, that one's done. But yeah, Sarah did the introduction to the film, which was great. Thanks for that.
Oh, you're
Brilliant.
welcome. Thanks for asking. So tell us then, we've got the Mysterious Earth. We talked about it last time you was on. It's in St. Anne's. It's October the 25th, am I right? To the 26th?
25th and 26th, yeah, in
Yeah.
the Glendower Hotel. It's
Yeah.
fantastic, lovely hotel, as you remember last year.
Yes.
So it's great that we're going to be able to. I don't know why I didn't think about it before because when we were staying there was that function room, and I thought I'll just have a look, because somebody told me it was too small, but I stuck my head round the door and thought, well, that should be perfect. So we've booked the function room. So we're staying in the hotel again, and so if anybody wants to come, I hope you do. But so you can stay in the hotel and get a cheaper room if you ring them up, tell them you're coming to the conference. Well, you can stay anywhere else. Doesn't matter. There's loads of hotels around there, aren't
Yes, and it's a lovely place, and I'll put the links in the video description to the Mysterious Earth booking page on your website.
there?
And have you got the link to the hotel on your booking
Yeah,
page?
you got to ring them, but if you look at the bottom of the conference page, all the information's there. You just ring them up and they'll know. And they'll give you a bit of a better rate.
Okay. So with this Mysterious Earth, I mean, I've been coming a few years now, and it's very, very popular, and there just seems to be like a big revival of interest in the esoteric and the unexplained right now, doesn't there?
Yeah, there does. Yeah, it's well a lot. I mean, it needs to be, doesn't it? Really, but I think we're in this little group, aren't we? That's kind of really into that sort of thing. Because I mean, I hope it does grow. But you go out and you go to pubs, but people know still no idea what you're talking about. But you've got your when you do your caffeine chronicles and that sort of thing. People seem to be they join in with it and get involved, don't they? So you seem to have a good following.
Yeah, yes, I do. Yeah, and I've had some good guests on. It's been good.
Mm.
One of the things you mentioned there about you can't really talk about this stuff to people in the pub. Um, the exception to the rule there would be the pub night in the middle of the Mysterious Earth conference,
Oh
wouldn't it?
yeah, oh yeah. Everybody's talking about it. That the
Yeah,
locals will think we're crazy, but
it's like
hey, that's
till
cool,
2 and 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah, yeah. At the hotel bar, yeah, it's great. I mean, what a great crowd come along as well. There's so many interesting people with ideas and thoughts and experiences of their own, and it all. Yeah, I suppose the idea of the conference is to come fair, isn't it? And there's some wonderful people. Some of the people have been coming so many because this is the 17th year now. Things are wow, it's a long time, but yeah, great people. A few beers and anything goes. Well, anything esoteric, in the
Yeah,
conversation way.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
last year there was a great talk about ventriloquism.
Oh, David Malmberg, yeah. Yeah, David, and he didn't say he's actually got a PhD in esoteric studies, which he didn't mention, and he's also the Grand Master of a Masonic lodge. He's the thought that he's studied through the actual esoteric stuff, not like the boys down the club, like a real deep esoteric so philosopher type organization. So he's got a hell of a lot of experience, and he's also a professional guitarist, Spanish guitarist. He learned from the masters in Spain, and he's a ventriloquist, and he literally has big audiences all around his area well, actually in America. He's going from coast to coast actually this year. He's really well known. So for us to get him at a little conference was quite a thing, and it was entertaining. Well, it would be, wouldn't it?
Yes,
But
especially when he started doing the ventriloquism. He got the bloody
yeah,
dummy
yeah, and
out, didn't he, in
that
the end? And he was
back,
doing the voice.
yeah,
Let me out, let
yeah,
me
that was
out.
it. Yeah, he does it when sometimes you'll be sat having dinner and he'll go, let me out, and he'll lift the glass up. Oh, that's better. Let me out. So, turning the glass off, it lets somebody in. Yeah, wonderful guy. We've had some great time. He did the Sardinia tour, he's done the Cathar tour and the Brittany Carnac tour. So it's been, a good few weeks with them. They're like firm friends.
Yeah, they were a nice couple. I remember them.
Mm.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if they come back really this year. You never know. I know that Cheryl, his partner, wants to come back, but whether they'll be able to drag David across again, I don't know. We'll see.
Right. Yeah. So, is there a theme this year? Anything, or is it just anything esoteric goes?
Yeah, no particular thing. I've never really picked a theme. Well, last year it was a bit sort of a Da Vinci Code type of thing, but I don't usually pick a theme, but it kind of developed into one. Because people say, "Oh, that was an interesting theme." I thought it wasn't planned; it just turned into a theme. I don't know because people like, as somebody said in the previous talk, I suppose we're all kind of on the same wavelength and talking about the same sorts of things. But no particular theme this year. Um, no, Steve Mira is going to do. He's talking about it's all this high strangeness thing that is really popular now. He's got an Operation Gateway or something, a Project Gateway, and he's traveling all around the world. So he went to Germany not long ago, looking into all this esoteric stuff. So that he's doing two talks. That's for two. That one on the Saturday, one on the Sunday. So that'll be a kind of a theme, and it'll fit in with other people's talks as well, because we're kind of megalithic, and also he used to do a lot of stuff to do with haunted houses and all that sort of stuff, and spirit presences. So I think it's going to kind of blend in.
There has been one change to the booking this year, hasn't there? So we might as well get it out of the way now
Well,
and
there's been
confess.
two actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
two people.
Yeah,
Two people have pulled
really.
out.
Oh, so it's right. So I'm not just me that's been unreliable then.
No,
That
no,
makes me
no.
feel a little
No,
bit
it's
better, but
no, you're
yeah.
fine. Don't worry. We've got what's she called? Mergeram. I can't remember her second name because she's from the Netherlands. Has jumped into your place. So she came last year. She's got a massive YouTube channel, so like 20,000 subscribers, and
Wow.
she gets in contact with the stones and speaks to the spirits of the stones and that sort of thing. And it's all about that and giving sort of advice and help to people from what she picks up. I'm not quite sure what it is yet, but she picks it up. I don't know how you describe it. We'll find out. But she's very popular anyway. She's coming all the way over from the Netherlands to do it, so that's going to be good. But she's the one that took your place,
Oh, that's good.
unfortunately.
That's good. Yeah, yeah. Well, I was originally invited to speak this year, and I was really honoured
Right.
and really proud, but I just had a lot going on behind the scenes lately. My head's not been in the right space to give it the focus it deserves. And if I'm going to stand up in a room full of curious minds and talk about magic and mystery and meaning, then I really want to own the space and
Absolutely, yeah.
feel
Yeah, if it's
proud.
not in it, it's not in it. Maybe next year, once you get back into it again.
Well, I was going to say maybe I'll get invited next year,
Yeah,
hint,
sure, yeah. If
hint.
you can, you'll be twice as good then, because you'll have a whole more year to think about it.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. I would be
Mhm.
honoured. Yeah, definitely. But until
Brilliant.
then, I'm just going to be on my own channel, producing content
Mhm.
as and when. But definitely up for that next time. Yeah, when I'm in a better
Oh,
headspace. And I'm glad you
brilliant.
found another person to jump in. But I will be there as an audience member.
Good, good, good.
So
And with all your friends, they usually come along, don't they?
yes, they do. I'll
There's
be
usually a
there as an
small group
audience
of you.
member. Yeah, Val's
Brilliant.
coming. Yes, we're all coming. And if you want any help with any of the computer switching on and off or whatever, I'm happy to
Oh, cool, yeah. We
help you
might
out
just
with
need
that.
that. Yeah, might just
Definitely.
need it. It's a whole new place, whole new venue, so and yeah, we and the good thing about that hall as well is we're not going to be rushed. We can get there on the Friday evening, set up slowly, and then we're not going to be thrown out at night. We've actually got it all night as well. Well, obviously we don't need it because we'll be in the restaurant and the bar, but it just means there's no pressure time wise like there was before at the YMCA, and
Yes.
also and
Yeah.
that sound problem solved as well because used to echo in the roof.
Yes, it did. Yeah, it was
So
very big, wasn't it, that room? Very high ceiling.
yeah, it's like a curved aluminium with ridges in it. It's like all the sound bounce all over the place. So yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And it's great for the weather as well, because if it's a bad weather in that weekend in October, it doesn't matter because you're already at the venue and you're sleeping there, you're staying there, so you don't have to grab a taxi and get wet through to go anywhere, do you? You're just
No, you
there.
don't. Everything's on hand. I'm really looking forward to it.
It is a
And it's
good,
always a bit nerve-wracking leading up to it. It's going to go right, get enough people, and all these things. But it always works out. It always has before. So this year, I'm telling myself, just relax, don't worry about it. But you know
yeah.
what it's like with planning things. Going to make sure things sort out.
Are you
Yeah,
doing the emceeing as well, or have you got?
yeah, I'll do that. Usual thing, but unless anybody wants to help me out by doing a few, but I don't know. I quite like it if some people do because you you can relax a bit because you're running around all over the place. And you think, oh no, it's time to get to the next person on, and who are they? And so it's so I liked. I don't know. We'll see how we get. So we'll see how we go.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to add about the Mysterious Earth? I mean, I'm going to put all the details down in the description box, but now is your time to shine, Neil, to get people
Now
on
it's your time
board.
to shine. No, I mean, we've just got some fantastic speakers. It's a really great lineup. So just please come. That's all I can say. Look on the Megalithic Tours website, my website, and click on Megalithic Tours and book your place. And do it early because still for my blood pressure. So there's going to be enough people.
No, it is. It's worth going. It really is good fun. It really is. A room full of like-minded people.
Yeah, yeah.
And then afterwards, all having a drink and a chat together. And then next thing you know, it's 3:30 in the morning. And it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
we better go to bed because we've got to be up early
About
for the next
time,
day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just get up for breakfast and all carries on.
So the food there is really good. The pizzas are great.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. Remember the pizzas?
Yes.
Fantastic pizzas.
Pizzas,
And
kippers for
yeah, so
breakfast.
kippers, you do kippers?
There was kippers on, yeah.
Oh my God, horrible. Yeah, egg and bacon will do for me. Full English always.
Or you could start with
Mm.
kippers, egg and bacon in the middle, and then finish off with
Oh
some.
no, not a kipper person, really. No, even though I've got to do an Isle of Man tour with the because that's where they're very popular on the Isle of Man. Come
They
from
are.
Peel,
They are
yeah.
kippers, yeah. I went to the
If
Isle
you
of
can get
Man
them
with
posted home,
school.
yeah. I
Yeah.
love the Isle of Man. Yeah. So yeah, they'll do a tour to the Isle of Man. Next year it's in April, I think.
All
So if
right.
anybody fancies the Isle of Man, that's Megalithic Tours again. Click on the tour timetable. So I'll put the first half of next year up and the rest of this year. In fact, now we're mentioning that, there are one, two, three, four one-day tours in August, which is now, and into September. We've got next week, the 9th of April, it's the Vale of Eden tour. That's where the River Eden flows on the eastern Lake District. And then the weekend after that, the next Saturday after that, sorry, is the South Lake District. 2 places left on that. The weekend after that, it's the Derbyshire Henges and Stone Circles. And then at the beginning of September, we're going to Peel Island. So there you go. If anybody wants a day tour, they're filling up, but there's still places left on them all.
Very nice. Very
Mm.
nice. And just in between the Zoom switching off there and switching back off again, we sorted out the MC issue, didn't we? We've got an MC for the
We did, yeah. I've
Mysterious
got a
Earth now.
volunteer, strangely enough. Yeah, since then. Oh, it's not that, just what a coincidence. We just mentioned it, and I got a volunteer.
Yes. So there you go.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. Can anybody guess who that is?
If you want to know who the new MC is, then I suggest you go check the website out and have a look.
Aha, yes,
You
there we
may
go.
be
I'll put
pleasantly
it on.
surprised.
Always, always.
Right, so I
Okay.
don't want to give too much away about the film, so I'm going to be really careful. The book's out, yeah, and people have read the book and bought the book, which is great.
Both
So,
got one.
what I'm
Mine's
going
the
to
wrong way
talk
around.
about with it, I want to talk about natural law because I'm really interested in
Okay.
natural law, but I don't want to come at
Hmm.
it from an intellectual, pretentious way about the principles, the Hermetic principles and things. I want to try
Mm.
and keep it sort of so people can get their heads around it and get an interest in it. And then if they
You
want, they
know
can go
that,
to the book and have a look at the Hermetic
yeah,
principles.
because
But
that's important. Because one thing I've realised over the years is that I've read so many books on Hermetic philosophy. It's been really important to me. But the important thing is to keep it very, very simple because that's what counts. And I remember some doctor said to me years ago when I was nursing, she said, everybody tries to explain medical things to you, you can't understand it. That means the person who's explaining it doesn't understand it. That's why they've got to make it complicated because it really is very, very straightforward stuff. And that's why what I've done, I've in my book, I've made it. I've I'm on the course really, basically. Though on the course, which are called self empowerment and what they called. I've got to remember what they called. Self mastery and empowerment through ancient wisdom. Get to the right page there. And there's three long courses and another course that's kind of just background information. Well, they're all things based on the tarot because, well, the tarot basically was just a way of explaining Hermetic wisdom, while just putting it into like a book, the symbolism. So what I've done is I've gone through in that way because it keeps it incredibly simple and to the point. And the good thing about that is that you don't have to think about it really. Well, because what you do, you feed the information and the symbolism into your subconscious, and your subconscious does all the work. So as you feed all this stuff into the subconscious, bit by bit by bit by bit, the the effects start becoming part of you. So you don't really have to do anything, and that's when I look at some of these courses that people do, or like not mention any, but some of them they seem to be so complicated, and you have to meditate 4 times a day and write all these books. Well, if you're doing that, you're not really doing it, because all you're doing is, in actual fact, is lifting a veil. You're not learning anything new. You're just reattaching to what you already know, which I think people in a previous um, existence lived that way. I think that probably I'm going to think of maybe the megalithic times, people were more associated with the planet, more sort of meshed in with it. So we've kind of forgotten a lot of this stuff. So all we're really doing, all I'm trying to do is to slowly lift the veil to all these things that people already know. And then once you do that, your life will just naturally improve.
I totally agree with you about keeping it simple because I'm like you. I love
Definitely.
I love to read books. I mean, I've got loads of books. There's a bookcase there, and they're all over the house.
Yeah, I
But
understand. Yeah.
what I don't like about it when I'm reading is when it becomes a job, and I
Mm,
think I really should understand this, but I don't. What's he bloody talking about? Or why has he gone all around the houses? Or what is this massive sentence that's like this long with a
yeah.
I don't like it. I'll just like it to be interesting and easy to absorb when it comes to these kinds of things, esoteric subjects.
They should be. They really should be because, like I say, it's knowledge we've already got. It's just a case of awakening it. I mean, it's so easy when you're writing to go off on like an ego jaunt or something and start trying to making it so complicated and in depth and tying people in knots. I mean, I understand that that was done early on with people like Crowley and maybe Israel Gardi and all these people like Levy and all that. But at that time, they were doing it because, well, if they made it really straightforward, they would get themselves in trouble, wouldn't they? Because it was a secret thing. And I think they were also scared in case people, which is a possible thing, but they got too much information too soon. And that is a problem I do see. So I mean, that does happen. People can't cope with the information that they're unloading, and that's why. Well, to mention that's why I don't think people should do these drugs. The ayahuasca and that sort of thing, because they're opening up to things that the body isn't ready to experience. So I've just kept it really simple and tried to unroll it in a sort of in a in a systematic form. So one thing is realised, and another thing's realised, and another thing's realised. So I've set it out to a system where one thing leads into the next, and leads on to the next, and leads on to the next, which is basically what the tarot does anyway. If people study it properly.
Yeah, so it's like it's a journey that's a marathon. It's not a sprint. People just
mm,
when they're exploring, expanding the consciousness and things like that, a lot of people think it can be done overnight, and if it doesn't happen overnight, then oh, I must be doing
mm.
something wrong. So I need to cram everything in and do everything all at the same time, and then
And fight harder. They
yeah,
think that if it's not working, they've got to meditate harder. They've got to,
yes,
and it might be the idea is to stop meditating
yeah,
and let what you've already realised just soak in.
yes,
Because and that's the beauty of the Hermetic tradition. You know, it literally is just letting the subconscious take over
yeah.
and all these things to you. I thought it was that saying. I think it was in John, because a lot of the Christian, there's a lot of stuff in the New Testament which is basic Hermetic wisdom. You know, but then if everything's wisdom, it's wisdom, isn't it? But he said, Jesus, as John said, now I think of a child and act as a child when I saw through a glass darkly. And then he goes on to say how now he's a man and he sees things as a man and all this, which basically say what he's done is he's lifted the veil of wisdom and he can see the truth, which is all that Hermetic wisdom is really. It's just pointing out how things really are, if that makes sense.
It does, and it has to be done slowly, doesn't it? Because this earth, this incarnation on earth, it's not meant for us to learn everything all at once. And what we don't learn well, especially from my point of view, what we don't learn in this lifetime, we carry across into the next one, and it can be over lifetimes and lifetimes before people reach true enlightenment, if ever at all. You know?
Yeah, and I believe in that definitely from things that have happened to me in my life. You know, you sort of get to the point where suddenly a past life. I don't really understand past lives. I don't. I don't think it's just like a continuation on this planet. It can go anywhere, can't it? Be any sort of thing. But all of a sudden, that whole of realization comes back, and then you say, "Oh well, that must be what I was up to before, and now I've just got to carry on." But yeah, but I do think that there's been a time on this planet where people understood these things more, just generally, and that we've kind of gone off at some point on a tangent where we've kind of forgotten. People say, don't they? Well, how did they move the megalithic stones? And so, well, I believe that they had a some sort of physics or engineering that they could do that we don't know anything about, and that's probably because they understand the way the universe is, and they can use it. And the reason we don't understand it is because we've at that fort, we went off in another direction, and we've forgotten all that. We just rely on brute force and cranes, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I think when back in the ancient pagan times, when the Christians were trying to stamp it out, when the Christian church was trying to stamp it out and demonize all the pagan gods and turn them into uh,
Mm.
demons and things like that, I think the education was stamped upon as well. So the the science that was available and the physics that was available then to the physics that were taught today in school is very, very different. And I think what proved that to me was when I learned about Coral Castle in Florida, and the guy who built that, which was Edward Leedscamol, I think was his surname.
And that was his name, was it? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he built Coral Castle, and he said that he used a specific law of physics for what he did for
Mm,
lifting those heavy stones. And he said that
mm.
if people realized that the physics that they were taught in school and the physics that was available to people like the ancient Egyptians and the physics that he knew about, then the world would be a very different place. It's all very, very dumbed down now on purpose, I think, to suppress the information and the potential that we've got as human beings.
Absolutely, and it's going even worse now in the schools, isn't it? Because I mean, even speech is being cracked down, and kids are coming out with with no real understanding of how the world is, getting even worse. But that's another reason that the first half of this book, I looked into. It's as if there was. We've been told from an early age that we've got to keep within our narrow confines. You know, like don't get above your station and who do you think you are and all that sort of thing. Where the rich are told you're put on this planet to rule. You're the bright, you're the important ones. You're the rulers, and it's as if that maybe that went back. And so I've tried to go through the various organisations and people that have seem to have beaten that. You know, either or they've got the thing that I've narrowed it down. People who got suddenly rich and wealthy and powerful, and why this has happened. And so I've gone through the various organisations, but I started. When you look at, for example, Solomon, you know, Solomon in how he built the temple, and he was said to be the wisest man in the world, and he was one of the richest and most influential kings that ever existed. Now, why? You know, you've got to ask yourself, why did he happen upon this sort of experience? And then and he worked with Asmodeus, didn't he,
Yeah.
to build Asmodeus. He could control Asmodeus. He had Asmodeus controlled with the power of a magic ring, like it's where a lot of the rings comes from. And then and he controlled Asmodeus to help him build Solomon's temple. So there was something in about Solomon's temple that was in. There was some history, some secret about that we don't understand now. And then so going on from Solomon to the Knights Templar. Now we're talking again about an organisation here that probably comes from the massive rich families around the world, the Rex Deus families they call them. But so the Knights Templar, before they became the Knights Templar, the original nine, went to which is Lord of the Rings again, by the way. You know, the dark rides and all that. But they went to Solomon's temple and they were given accommodation above the temple mound, and they dug and dug and dug to find these secrets. So the Knights, and then they came back to Count of Champagne's court where they left originally, and suddenly massively rich again, massively rich, the most powerful people on the planet with all the money in like an international conglomerate business. So that suddenly came from the same from what they found on the Solomon's temple. So whether that's connected to the original thing that Solomon did, don't know. But it's uncanny. And then of course the Languedoc, where the Knights Templar were gonna make their own homeland. So that was going to be the Knights Templar homeland down there. So the Templars are the same Templars who discovered something from underneath Solomon's temple, and whatever the Blanchefort family down there, who were he was a Grand Master of the Knights Templar. He was in charge of Rennes. He was the Lord of Rennes Chateau, where Boringer's son, suddenly appeared and found some secrets and became massively rich, like Solomon did, like the Knights Templar did, and and he did the same thing. So there's some sort of connection there. Well, that's all in the film, obviously. And then that carries on through the City of London and that strange phrase, "Et in Arcadia ego," which I think fascinates me. Anyway, there we go. So that's it. So there's something in all that, I think, that if we could understand it, and the people who have understood it, have taken control of their environment and been able to form it and shape it.
Yeah. Yeah, because you, in your book and your work, you've kind of traced that forward, haven't you, to the Fouquet brothers and what's his face? Oh, goodness me. I can remember the Fouquet brothers, but I can't remember
Bob Orange's son, yeah.
Boranger Saunier of Rennes Chateau.
Mm.
And it's possible that he was working or venerating Asmodeus because he
Well,
was
it's
big on
possible,
garden
yeah.
parties, wasn't he? And
Yeah,
barbecues.
and that was in that was in the Boulanger Saunier book, yeah, because he I mean, there was a big picture of Asmodeus, not a statue of Asmodeus. In fact, that guy, as you walk through the door of Rennes Chateau, it's saying, and he was holding everything up. So as if to say everything is supported uh, by by Asmodeus, and Asmodeus, of course, was the same guy, the same so-called demon or whatever it was, who helped Solomon right at the beginning to build the temple. So we just made the argument that, or the suggestion that maybe Sonia was um, using Solomon, Asmodeus in the same way again, and that's how he became rich. But it all ties up. But the Fouquet thing was that was Shepherds of Arcadia
Yeah.
and the Etienne Arcadia ego thing because
Didn't
there's a
there was
that
two
the Shepherds of
brothers?
Arcadia picture
Yeah,
is just down the road, based just down the road from in the chateau. And there used to be a tomb there with the shepherds on it, and yeah, that was Etienne Arcadia Eagle is carved onto that tomb. And right next to it, see, I've not got anywhere near to the end of this thing about the Etienne Arcadia Eagle thing. This is going to be my next project because I think there's a lot to discover that's been hidden or yeah, probably hidden, or just people know about it, and so it's hidden in plain sight. But I think there's a lot more digging I need to do to find out just what it was all about, because that there's Rennes Chateau's on that Poussin's painting, and also the Mount Cardew. And Mount Cardew is a holy island, and there's a lot of uh, literature that suggests that the Ark of the Flood rested, came to rest on Mount Cardew. And Cardew is like Cardor, the centre of it's cardinal points, like the centre. And the rose line used to run through it. So it's like a really central point. And so if that's where the Ark came to rest, and I'm thinking, oh, next to it is the Chateau of Arc, the town called Arc, which is so Arc, Arcadia. And then I'm thinking, so is Arcadia, is that associated with Ark and this story of to me it's like rebirth. Because the story of the Ark, if you think about it, was death and rebirth, wasn't it? Because the whole world got flooded, and only the people, special few, who came back, started the new life. So it's it's a very very in depth um, theory and story, but I'm going to carry on searching it. Hopefully, I'm going to spend a lot more time down there. And I mean, there's the Shepherd's Monument in Shugborough Hall. That's got the Shepherds of Arcadia statue there. Chatsworth has got one of the Shepherds of Arcadia paintings, the original one, and they've got pictures of serpents are not built into their architecture, you know. So it's yeah, more to find out. Definitely more to find out.
there's I think because it gets brought into the city of London as well, doesn't it? That there could be something under the city of London, especially where the Gherkin is, because that phrase is plastered outside the building, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is. Yeah. It was Roger actually for comes to the Mysterious Earth conference. Said, "Have you seen this?" Because he knew I was talking about Shepherds of about that's in Arcadia Eagle, and there it is carved into a bench in the city of London. I just oh wow, it's like right next to the in the financial centre of what used to be, I suppose, the world really.
Yeah, it did. Well, it was didn't used to be known as Babylon or something like that in the
Oh
old
yeah, like
days.
Babylon's banksters. Yeah, Joseph P. Farrell's written a book about that.
And then you've got Shepherd's Bush as well. Do you think that's That's a
It
coincidence
could,
to
it
this.
could well be, yeah. I mean, I haven't really looked into the London part of it yet, but I just think that the whole Shepherds of Arcadia thing, and Poussin as well, because Poussin on his memorial in Rome, it says Poussin didn't die. He's on the although he's in his urn or something that's on top. He didn't die because his work is contained in these messages contained in his work, in his paintings. And he did the Shepherds of Arcadia, and I've looked into when he was a Rosicrucian. So it's like so there was Claude and Bacon and Poussin. So his messages in his paintings as well. So I need to look into that in some depth if I can find. So I went to, I never told you, I went to London to the British Museum to see all the Poussin paintings, and they'd all been taken off display and put in the underneath in the cellar. Had no idea. They thought, oh, you should have rung up and asked. Well, you don't, do you? You don't.
No.
These paintings have been there 100 years. So just you don't have to, and they're all down there. So we got in. We got on the couldn't see any, so we got on uh, the Eurostar to Paris. Went to the Louvre to see them there, and both ends of this huge corridor had all been boarded off, so we couldn't see any there either. All a few days trying to find Poussin's paintings. It came back, hardly seen any. But I think there's a lot of study to go into those as well, because it's like a whole subject which is there, like I say, in plain sight, but we haven't really got to the nitty gritty of it. We're not in the know. Well, I'm sure some people are.
Well, that's what's really good about this book and what you've done so far, because there are subjects within subjects. So there's several subjects in
Mm.
here that go along that trail that you're following right up until World War II in this book.
Oh, the
Um,
Nazis, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and then once you get your head around that, then you can start picking an area and then having a look deeper into that, can't you?
Yeah, because I've only done a few pages on each just to cover the real basics, so you can see what. Because you could write a whole book about each one of those subjects, but the idea was to follow the trail
Yes.
and to go through the basics of each part of it.
And to present it in easily digestible chunks as well, because you could easily do a 500, 600 page book, but it's overwhelming
You
for
could,
people. People
yeah,
like the thought of being able to pick up a book, read it from cover to cover and understand it before moving on to the next book. Whereas if you try and throw everything in all at once, it starts to get complicated for people, doesn't
yeah,
it?
it
That's what I
does,
like about this.
and sometimes you end up trying to think of things just to fill the book out,
Yeah,
just to make it look like you've written a lot, and that dilutes the message.
yeah,
So I like to be when I'm writing, I like to be able to just write like I'm talking,
yes.
so people can just read straight through and understand it.
And it's not it's I mean, there's a fair bit in the book. You know, from the pages, they're all filled with information. And I remember a teacher of mine at school once, it was my physics teacher. You know, we were all trying to do really well at school and impress him because he was a great teacher. And he'd say, whoa, 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 always start with the thin books first and make sure you understand those before you start running away with yourself with the big, thick textbooks. He said, because you're not going to learn anything that way. And it's always stuck in my mind.
Yeah. Well, I suppose the idea is to follow the trail. That's what I've done in this book. I've just gone the next bit of the trail, and so people can follow that trail to Meticism. And if they do find one part that they're interested in, you can go into it deeper in their own sort of research. Because, like I say, each one is a separate thing, but you can see it rolls in. It's like there's something in the background. And the thing rolls into, yeah, and of course it rolls into the online course,
Yes.
which is,
Yes. But I started the beginning course, the beginner's course. There was a free course on there, wasn't there? Is there a few free?
Yeah,
I started the beginner's one, and it is very, very interesting. And there's just the right amount of time for you to take in what you're saying and then use that week to then start applying that knowledge to your own life before you come on to the
yeah, that was
next.
kind of background information because I thought the idea was the the course that um, the main three courses, like I say, are in that role, and you get into it and you follow it and follow it and follow it, and it builds and builds and builds and hopefully builds you up in your own personality. But I think to start it, there was just some basic information that you need. So I did that separate course just so people just understand the basics of hermeticism and various things. And yeah, so that's what that other one is. I've combined it all together now,
Right.
so people can get the whole bulk. They can get a bundle. You can buy the whole bundle and get
Well,
stuck in.
speaking of it, because you use the tarot, you refer to the tarot a lot in the course, and I was wondering, could you explain or tell us how we can use the tarot tableau to help us with issues in life? Because I know that that comes into the Hermetic principles.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Well, the whole idea of the tableau is that you've got three lots of seven. So the fool doesn't isn't part of the tableau; it sits on top because the fool is the all, it's the everything, it's the one thing that the universe is made in. As above, so below, and everything in between. So that is like the whole of the tableau, the whole of the tarot keys. So the first row, the first seven, are the powers, the universal powers of the universe. Okay, um, and you work through those one at a time. And then the second row are the laws of the universe. So so basic universal laws, and on the bottom there are outcomes. So what they really are, the bottom are the spiritual unfoldments. So the idea being, it, on the very very basic ideas, you can take the top key and think, okay, this is the power I'm going to use, but I'm going to use it through the middle key, which is the law. And if you work on those together, you'll get the outcome at the bottom as a result. Um, and that's kind of the beginning way of doing it. And then you can use other ones diagonally and that sort of thing. Like if you know of a particular thing that you're finding you're lacking on in life or you're a bit worried about, you can find the particular ones, particular three, and feed those back into your subconscious and wait for an answer. And,
Yeah.
then all the different keys have different putting in the subconscious, taking it out, using super consciousness, the Trinity bringing things together, and and then the Chariot, which is finding out who the true person that you really are is, and all that sort of thing. So yeah, there's quite a lot in it, and that's kind of what I teach on the course, really, because as you learn all these different powers and laws and getting the spiritual outcomes, you are building as a person, and you're lifting the veil to all these things that are universal truths. So yeah, that's what the tarot tableau is. It's a toolbox.
A set, yeah, or it's a big, massive key ring full of keys to the truths
It
of
is,
life, the
yeah.
doors to let
It's
you through the
yeah,
doors.
definitely, yeah, yeah.
And I would say that was the true intention of the tarot, then, not to
Oh,
divine.
definitely, 100%, definitely. As far as I'm concerned, I mean, it can't be a coincidence that. I mean, that's what the teaching of the mystery school that I was in, and the mystical teachings and Eliphas Levi and all these big, fantastic brains have all said that that's what it is. And I was taught that that's what it is. I think it's from, I mean, the actual story is that people from esoteric schools and grand masters and adepts of all around the world would meet in Alexandria, in the palace in Alexandria, in the library, and they would um, get together and discuss things, and and try and build back the wisdom. I think they were still trying to build it back from when it was lost before, piece it all together, this ancient lore. And when the library was destroyed, it was burnt in 640 AD with the Caliph Umar. And then they all moved to Fez in Morocco. And it was in Morocco that they decided that, I mean, most of the things, also the documents have been hidden, but then they decided to build a book, make a book that would hold in one place all these esoteric secrets that could be unfolded to people. And they reckon it was maybe the Oriental contingent that said, well, if we do that, well, you have a picture speaks straight to the subconscious, and they were used to pick up pictorial languages. So they ended up with the major arcana of the tarot, and that was the book of tarot. Yeah, so that's the story of how we ended up with the tarot, and the rest of it is just made into a card game, really, I suppose. I mean, there I don't want to get too complicated into it because it just ruins the basic simplicity of it. Because the Cephras on the Tree of Life are the main cards. They're not the main keys, if you know what I mean. But what you really need is those keys that join everything together, which are the major arcana.
So it's connected then to the Kabbalistic tree of life then. So that the Cephras and the pathways are where the tarot cards sit. The major arcana, rather, of the tarot.
Yeah. So what you've got hermetic wisdom, and that was original thing. Now the Kabbalistic ideas came a lot later, and what the Kabbalah is a way of it's a teaching method of teaching the hermetic wisdom, because then again that was originated down in the Languedoc as well, which is quite amazing. Because it was all down there. So it all came together. So yeah, so what they did, they used the tarot, and I think they probably built the Kabbalistic tree to fit the tarot onto it, so you could use it as a training method. Because you think of the Kabbalistic tree, they've got the pillars in the background, they've got one pillar on each side of the pillar in the middle. Well, those go back to Solomon's temple. So, and that was obviously a long time before the Kabbalah was made. So yeah, so what they did, they built it in. They built the Hermetic teachings into a teaching system, and that's what the Kabbalah is, a teaching system.
So
They call it. I mean, I remember reading about when I first read about the Kabbalistic tree and the Kabbalah, and it was referred to by people who were really deeply teaching as a filing cabinet. So you put everything, all your correspondences in different drawers, and that's what the different Cephras are.
right. And on
Does that
it,
make sense?
I'm gonna put an image of it on the screen. But on it, you've got the three amongst all the pathways. There's three going straight across. Does that represent the three levels of the tableau then? The different, because there's three levels in the tableau, isn't there?
I never thought that, because each of the lines are one of the major arcana. Yeah, it could do, but of course you can use that tarot in the Kabbalistic tree in a different way, can't you? Because you can either climb up the tree, or you can. I think if you're an adept learning, you climb up the tree from Malkuth at the bottom to Kether at the top. And Kether, I've been told by a very wise person recently, is the Cathars, because in French it's Kether.
Right.
So that was quite an eye opener to me. And yeah, so Kether being the Cathars. Now the Cathars were in the area of the Languedoc where the I'm haunted. Yeah, in the Languedoc where the Kabbalah teaching system was put together, and the place we used to stay for many years on the Cathar tour, Megalithic Jews Cathar tour, was in Aleph Laban. Now that's the Aleph Valley, and I never realised until this person said, what is it called? The Aleph. Oh, Aleph, yeah. which is at the beginning. Cathar is the end. She said, "Well, yeah." You said she said she won't reveal it, but she said, "There you are. Think about that for a while." So I thought, yeah, right. I was sat there in Aleph, where the Kabbalah was written, and where the the French Cathars, um, also settled.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, there's more to be learned there as well, isn't there?
Yeah, and when you think
Can't
about it,
remember
it
what we were
really
talking
is
about.
right there looking at you, isn't it?
I was right in your face, yeah. And to think that I'd studied all this stuff for so many years, and we were doing the Cathar tour, and I sat in the Leveshe, which is the old Bishop's Palace in Aleph, at the Ban, and for many years I never even realised until I read a book about from a Jewish guy, his name I can't remember, Geshem, but who explained it all, that that's where it all came from. I thought, my God, I've been sat there having my dinner in the gardens there, where the people who wrote all this stuff hundreds of years ago were sat previously. It blows your brain, doesn't
Yeah, it does. It does. And with the kebab, I mean, if I'm going out of the scope of this book or anything, just rein me back in. But with
it?
the
It doesn't
paths
matter.
of the tree of
Hmm.
life
Yeah.
and the tarot tableau, is that any way in connection with the flame of the path of the flaming sword on the Kabbalistic tree of life, or is that something that's out of the scope of this? Is that something else altogether?
Yeah, it is. I don't. I mean, yeah, I think well, the flaming sword and everything can be brought into the teachings of the uh, the major arcana, because and it's yeah, it's part of it, but I haven't mentioned anything to do with that in the book or the course. I think it's a separate thing.
Right. And one other interesting thing about the Kabbalistic tree of life is the three pillars,
Yeah.
and the one in the middle is the
Hmm.
equilibrium. And that's
Yeah.
what we're always striving towards. And I've heard you talk about that a lot in your other videos, even when you've talked about tarot cards in your other videos,
Mhm.
that you're always trying to come back to the middle in order to live within natural law, if you like, and for life to go
Yeah, I mean,
well.
the whole of the universe is duality. It's been everything's duality, isn't it? I mean, that's why you get the black and white floor and all that sort of thing. Because I think it's a bit like saying, how did the world come into existence? Well, somebody or something, maybe God, obviously, decided what we'll do is just spread it, we'll separate everything out so that everything is within a continuum. So you got dark and night, and so no matter what you look at, it's part of some sort of continuum. And there's this thing about um, the universe is forever. Um, come on, what's the word? Getting rid of things. Um, I can't remember what the word for it is, but like dissolution. So in one way it's dissolution, and in another way it's rebuilding. So it's forever. It's like in a yeah, but it's forever getting rid of things, burning things, tearing things down, and at the same time, equally, it's said in a balance, it's building on the other side. So that is like so you've got the male and the female pillars, like on Jackie Boas, which were from Solomon's Temple, and they're the pillars on the Kabbalistic tree. So you're forever going from one side to the other, and but where you actually grow is on the central pillar of equilibrium because you're bringing the two kind of the two sides together. Like nowhere is anything evil or wrong on those things, but the idea is to climb up the tree. That's where you go. That's where Kepha is at the top, and that is supposed to be the Godhead in that supernal triangle at the top. So what you're always forever doing is trying to stay on the middle, and then so if you whatever you're doing, if you find yourself being pulled or you go across to one side, you just think, oh, that's fair. Because I think that's where a lot of experiences are, on either side. There's nothing wrong with it, but you just think, oh my God, I'm being a bit too whatever it is. And so you draw yourself back to the centre, and then eventually might go off on the other side. and then you'll then draw yourself back into the centre because that's where the growth is. Because it's like the experiences are at both sides, but the growth is in the middle. And I mean, that kind of explains enough. Does
Does
it?
it does
Does
it's
that make sense? Yeah.
That's where the shadow work and knowledge of the shadow self comes in handy as well,
Oh
because if you
God,
go
yeah,
too
yeah.
far on one side, you're not aware of
Yes.
it.
Yeah, yeah,
You
absolutely.
can't bring
I
yourself
mean,
back.
yeah, and you do see it. I mean, there's like the whole idea of like everything is love. Well, everything is love on one side, but if you love too much, you get become controlling, and it's like, and you've got to stay on the side of the light. If you get too much light, you blind yourself. So you've always, so you've got to, like I said, bring yourself back. Don't stay too far on one side because if you're always on the good side, you see here the hippies all love, love, love all on one side. Well, that can end up being, I mean, you can mention that's kind of the woke idea as well. You're always, oh, I'm so justified and moral and everything, when actually you're causing so much evil damage. They should think, well, hang on a minute, maybe I should tone this down and look on the other side a little bit. You know what I mean? Because you feel like you're so justified, but really you're on. There used to be a thing called when I was psychoanalyzing, there was the schizophrenic mother, and and the idea when they would, so you get a patient in, and when the mother came, you would say, "Oh my, oh, it's a schizophrenic mother, overwhelming, over loving, over attentive." It sends the child insane. So yeah, you can be too much, and you obviously don't want to be too much on the evil side as well, because but if you do lose your temper and find yourself doing something wrong, you just recognise it and bring yourself back. You don't tell yourself off because it's you. Like I say, your dark side is part of you. There's the dark and the light. But you just try and stay in the middle.
I think that's why the world's a bit like it is at the moment, isn't it? Because everybody's pulled to one side or another,
Mm,
and they're
mm,
extreme sides. And I suppose you could use politics as an illustration of that without getting political or anything. But you've got the left and the right. And
mm.
back in the old days, not so long ago, you could have left of the centre or right of the centre, and that was where the
Yeah,
common
you can.
sense
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
prevailed. But now you can't dwell
absolutely.
in there anymore. You've got to be here or you've got to
Well,
be there.
absolutely everything is so polarized now, isn't it?
Yes.
Just recently, I mean, it's like and it didn't used to be, oh, you're just a left, you're just a right. Now it's like daggers drawn, isn't it? It's like there's it's gone so far that people don't seem to be able to meet in the middle anymore.
No. And I think that's why the world's so fragmented and
Mm,
why people are so lost and all at sea. And those of us with common sense who kind of reside in the centre don't feel like we belong anywhere at the moment, because you can't have an opinion anymore unless you're extreme left or extreme right on anything, not just politics, on anything.
absolutely, yeah, no, you're right. Definitely, we are in strange times. We really are. I mean, I honestly believe though, if people go back to like the Hermetic thing and like the wisdom traditions, then it would kind of solve it all, because if you understand the way the universe works as best you can, then you realize that that's just, you can't behave in those silly manners because it doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I think the more people learned to work with the powers and the laws of the universe, I think things would just correct themselves. They'd have to.
Yeah. Natural law would say it has to. There's no other way, is there? And if
No,
one person at a time just took on the principles of natural
mm,
law and gently guided themselves back to the center, one person at a time, then eventually that would take a
yeah,
shift back to the center. But is it right that throughout history it kind of goes one way and then swings back the
yeah,
other way?
but that's a universal law as well. I remember the key ten, the wheel of fortune, that things go round and round and round in a spiral, and yeah, so it's like it will happen, and it is kind of a natural thing. It's just, but we just seem to be in such a, an intense part of it at the moment. But I mean, it will come back right again because it's part of natural law that it will get like this. You know, things will get prevailed. But it. I mean, I think about this quite a lot. Right? I'm not sure whether you can make things go back. All you can do is yourself, isn't it?
Yes.
Really, just make sure yourself is okay, and get yourself back into the middle, and everybody else will. Or whether it's a natural thing, a natural spiral that this will go around, and maybe something will happen, and people have to start adapting natural law again.
Yeah,
But I
absolutely.
think that the schools and everything, it's taught. You're taught not to. It's all science now, isn't it? The experts. We're told to listen to the experts instead of just relaxing and maybe the universe knows one or two things as well.
Yeah. And I think you can't, you as an individual can't take on the responsibility of the pendulum swinging back to the center on a
No,
global scale.
no.
All you can do is focus on your own inner work and
Yeah, that's
forget
what
the
you can do.
chaos that's going on around you. You've got to come back to center and do the inner work and not be swayed by being pulled here or being pulled there.
Well, absolutely. I mean, and you're not supposed um, to force anybody to do anything anyway. That would be evil. You can. So I just think if I suggest something to somebody and plant that seed, and then it's up to them because sometimes you'll do that. Well, most of the time it's a waste of time. But once you've done that, I think you've done your bit because you can't start trying to affect somebody's life because that's controlling as well, isn't it?
You can only concentrate on yourself,
Mm.
and that can have a knock-on effect, can't it, for other people? But they've still got
Hopefully,
the
yeah,
free
yeah.
will. Yeah, yeah, totally. It's great, and like I say, it helps with the shadow work as well because myself, when I've done some of this internal work, and I think, oh, maybe you're being a bit too much this way, and perhaps you should just have a look at it from the other side and come in the middle. And I think, yeah, maybe you're being a bit too dogmatic about that. And then you
Yeah,
come to
it's
the
hard
side and
sometimes, isn't it?
yeah, and then you learn from that and you think, yeah, maybe I was. I'll
Yeah,
try not to do that again. And
yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, but like I say, it's you're always learning. I mean, you can't be perfect, can you? You just got to do what you can. But the thing about the shadow side, I think that's very important. I think at school you should be taught that because there's so much people repressed so much, and that shows itself in anger and all sorts of evil things, doesn't it? Because if you're told that, oh, you've got a shadow self and you see it and you recognize it and know what it is, and just don't judge yourself, just bring yourself back into the center, then because if you're told that it doesn't exist and you see yourself behaving like that, you'll always be fighting against it, and you'll always, and like you say, repression's a dangerous thing. Pressure cooker builds up.
yeah, and it explodes. So yeah, so my advice to people, and I'm sure yours as well, would be to go and have a look at your course and certainly
Definitely.
buy this
Yeah,
book
yeah.
because it is a great starting point for something that is such a deep,
Mm.
deep topic that can help you with your day-to-day life. And what more could you
Yeah.
ask for?
Well, I hope so. Yeah, because it's kind of a life work, really. And like I said, I'm getting to a point where I'm thinking of half retiring and stopping doing things. So that's when I saw the way the world was, and I thought, well, I'll, I'll make this course, and hopefully it can help.
Yes, because you've got two choices, haven't you, with the way the world is at the moment? You can either be swept away with it and let it destroy your soul and your spirit, or you can rise above it and say, no, I'm not, my spirit's
Mm.
gonna thrive in this environment and I'm gonna make sure that it does
Yeah,
do something about it for myself.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And whilst you're doing it, I mean, it also helps you control your life. It, it helps you in the point to work with the universe to create things. Because we're all supposed to be creative beings, aren't we? And I think that the course helps a lot in being part of this factory, this universal factory, this administrative. You say at the end of the course, it's like you're supposed to be part of. We're working towards being part of, like, the administrative intelligence and all, and that really is. I mean, if you're part of this factory, working with it, working with the laws, then whatever you want in life should be a lot easier for you to just get it. Just do, this is what I want, put it into the subconscious, and work with the laws. And once you, because you're in there with it, you're in with the management system now.
Yeah, you are. You've got the direct dial, haven't you?
You are,
And
yeah, yeah.
you're working with the
You don't have to phone a
subconscious.
friend. Just,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you're working with the subconscious, subconscious sends it through dreams and things like that, and
Mm,
images and flashes of inspiration, the
absolutely, yeah.
action that you should be taking in
Mm.
order to realize what it is that you want, rather than just sitting there and clicking your heels together and thinking it's just going to land on the front
Yeah,
doorstep.
yeah, you have to take that. God helps them and helps themselves.
Yes.
And another important thing is to learn how to test what you're doing,
Yeah.
because I mean, people don't realize that you still have to use your given reason and intuition
Mhm.
to help you, and a lot of people don't use it. So they end up going in the wrong direction and spend the next 20 years trying to work their way back round because they haven't studied what, they haven't studied, they haven't put it through the reasoning factor that you've got to realize that, well, you're not really supposed to be doing that.
Well, I think that is a great place to end this. And thank you, Neil, for coming on and just having such a grounded energy when we're talking about all these deep and esoterical things. I just think it's great. And I think today's talk is going to help lots of people who might have found themselves having a bit of a wobble. I've had a few of those this year, and coming back to this kind of topic always brings me back to centre. So I know it's going to help lots of people out there. And if you want to read Neil's book, well, Neil's books actually, because I mean, he's got a lot of books out. I've just got a handful here. So, he's got a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge to impart. And if you want to read his books or join one of his tours, even, or
Mhm.
check out his 6-month course, all the links will be in the video description. And if you are heading to the Mysterious Earth conference this year, then definitely catch up with Neil, because he's a font of knowledge on all this kind of stuff. And thanks to all you guys for sticking with me during the flu break. I have got more episodes on the way, and actually, this chat with Neil today has given me a right good kick up the jacksie that I needed to get my arse into gear, and get some good stories out there to turn into video. So keep your eyes peeled for those. There's another episode of Two Crones and a Camera being made soon. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and to Jennifer Taylor's channel as well, because the next one's going to go out on her channel. And yeah, I am just going to hand it over to Neil now so he can tell you all about where you can find him, and the links to his wonderful books and course.
Well, thanks for that. That's brilliant. Yeah, well, thanks for. Well, I've enjoyed this talk, and good that it's probably getting you um, back working again. Brilliant. Yeah, so all my stuff is on megalithic Like I say, I've got lots of tours for the end, to the end of the year. I've got the 1 day tours for this month. So two timetables on there. The Mysterious Earth Conference is on there. My course is on there at the end, all on the menu at the top. And there's a link to my YouTube channel as well. I'm going to start putting more esoteric videos out, because I'm just finishing some extra bits of the course now. But come to my YouTube channel. There's about 160 videos on there. So please subscribe to that, because we all need subscribers, don't we? But that's it. megalithic2s.com. It's all there.
Thanks, Neil, and thanks you guys for joining us. And I'll just finish by saying, as always, stay grounded, stay weird, but most
Yeah.
importantly, stay curious, and we'll see you soon.
But
Bye bye.